Have you ever looked at someone you trust and felt a sudden, cold shiver of realization that you don't actually know them at all? Psychological confinement is built using the subtle weight of verbal cues and long-term behavioral triggers. Individuals can be dismantled in quiet living rooms, led by a partner or a colleague to question their own memories and their sanity without a single hand being raised. We are going to open the files on 12 dark psychological tactics that operate quietly in everyday life. Recognizing these patterns allows you to maintain the boundaries of your own identity when they are under pressure. Naming these exact tools renders the invisible visible, allowing you to see the mechanisms before they ever take hold. Control begins with tiny, imperceptible shifts in interaction. These early tactics exploit deep evolutionary needs, our reliance on connection, and our physiological response to isolation. Tactic 1 is the weaponization of silence. By deliberately withdrawing communication, a manipulator creates a heavy emotional vacuum. Your brain enters a state of panic, scanning for errors and tearing down its own defenses just to bridge the gap. Next is the systematic distortion of truth. It starts with small disagreements about conversations from a week ago, where your recollection is dismissed as a mistake. These small denials compound. Eventually, you stop trusting your internal recording mechanisms and rely on the manipulator to tell you what actually happened. Intermittent reinforcement uses a cycle of extreme warmth and sudden cold cruelty. During the moments of reconciliation, your brain releases massive spikes of dopamine. This creates a chemical dependency identical to gambling, where you endure the freezing lows to chase the next high. Over time, the balance of the relationship shifts into an addictive loop of validation and withdrawal. To see how this executes in a real-world setting, imagine a target named Sarah, sitting across a table from someone she has loved for years. The manipulator deploys an induced flaw, presenting a highly specific critique wrapped in a tone of empathetic concern. By framing her natural reactions as instability, they erode her confidence from the inside out. Then they execute micro-violations of privacy, checking her messages or showing up unannounced. These are strategically framed as acts of romance, and any protest is treated as a lack of love. Tactic 6 is manufactured vulnerability. The manipulator shares a deeply tragic, often exaggerated story from their past to trigger Sarah's natural empathy. Sarah responds by sharing her own traumas and fears, unknowingly handing over the exact blueprints to her emotional control panel. This is triangulation. The manipulator brings a third party into Sarah's reality, claiming friends or family are criticizing her behind her back, effectively isolating her from her support system. If Sarah confronts them with evidence of betrayal, the manipulator shifts the focus entirely to her reaction. Her anger is treated as a lack of trust, and the evidence is ignored in favor of her paranoia. As the manipulator displays deep, performative disappointment, the victim begins to wonder if they are actually the one destroying the relationship. This is the aftermath of the final 4 tactics. The target is left as a hollow presence in their own home. Identity deconstruction strips away core traits and joys. Interests are mocked as childish or embarrassing until they are abandoned entirely. Chronic gaslighting destroys the victim's grip on reality through the icy denial of verifiable events. The nervous system stays in a state of hypervigilance, and eventually, the mind surrenders to the constant pressure of cortisol. Accountability is avoided through selective amnesia. The manipulator simply refuses to remember harmful behavior, forcing the victim to bury their pain in order to move forward. Finally, total dependency is established. The victim is told they are too broken and damaged for the outside world to ever accept, framing the controller's presence as a form of charity. These 12 steps represent a systematic erasure of the self, executed under the cover of devotion. Take a deep, slow breath. Focus on the physical reality of the room around you. If these patterns feel familiar, that heavy sensation in your chest is the result of navigating a deliberate psychological environment. The erasure you feel is not a permanent state of your being, it is the intended outcome of a specific system. Identifying these tools by name is the process of reversing that effect. Once the tactics are recognized, the manipulator loses the ability to define what is real. When the target understands the mechanics of the control, the seemingly powerful manipulator is exposed as a person hiding behind a mask of dominance. You have the capacity to trust your own memory and worth again. The core of who you are is still present, beneath the noise. We are building a community of minds focused on psychological freedom. If you want to stand with us, hit subscribe and leave a comment with the word aware. No one can permanently rewrite your reality when you understand how they attempt to change it. The truth belongs to you.